Hey everybody, I'm Adrian Bustamante and welcome to Food Deconstructed. On this episode, we're deconstructing the everyday BLT into some amazing new recipes, and this one is no different. We're gonna combine my love for soup with my love for sandwiches, and it's gonna be the BLT soup with bacon croutons. Now, we're gonna start off, this is super easy. All these ingredients are gonna go into one pot, cook it up, blend all these great flavors together, and make yourself a very, very hearty soup. So we're gonna start off with some bacon. And you hear it sizzle as soon as it hits the pan. Now we're gonna mix this around. We'll put a little bit of oil in the pan just in case it's gonna stick. Now you can already smell that bacon cooking up in there. It's flavors. This is the essence of a BLT right here, is the bacon. This is where most of our flavor is going to come from this soup. Now you're going to let this cook up until it's nice and crispy, and you're going to take out about a quarter cup of it to use it for a little bit later in our recipe. It's going to take some time for it to crisp up. We'll let that sit for a little bit. Once it's done crisping up and we take out the quarter cup, we're going to add some onion and some green onion to the base as well. But it's going to be a few minutes. Okay, that bacon is crisping up. Now we're going to take about a quarter cup of the bacon out. Now watch for the popping. Could get dangerous. It's roughly about a quarter cup. Don't want to take too much of it out. Keep that off to the side for later. Now we're going to add some onions. White onions to be exact, and some green onions. A little more flavor. That onion flavor is going to mix in with some of that bacon fat that's in there. It's going to be the base for our flavor of our soup. Now we're going to mix this around, let those onions saute and get tender. A little translucent. Usually takes about a minute or so. It's going to saute maybe even a little bit faster because it's already been hot and extra warm with all that bacon grease in there. So we're going to add some butter and some garlic. Again, mixing that all around, make sure that large cube of butter melts and gets over everything that's in the pan. Once that butter melts down, we're going to move on and place some of our lettuce in there and let that saute up. Obviously sticking with the essence of our original dish, the BLT. We got our bacon, we got our lettuce, tomato will come up a little bit later. That butter seems to be nice and melted. Everything's sauteing nicely and evenly. Now, let's get some lettuce in there. Same thing, you're just going to mix this around. You can turn up your heat a little bit if you need to. You're going to start seeing that lettuce wilt a little bit in there and saute. You're just bringing that flavor out of the lettuce. You can already imagine how flavorful this soup's going to be with the lettuce, the bacon, the onions, the butter. And we're still not done yet. We'll let that saute in there. Next up, once that's all done, we're going to put a little bit of flour before our chicken broth. Help the thickening process come up a little bit easier. Depending on the heat of your pan, this may take a little bit of time, but our lettuce is wilting and sauteing quite nicely, so we're just going to put a little bit of flour in there. Don't need a whole heck of a lot. Just a little bit more. Again, mixing it around, getting all that flour taste out of there and cooked through. You'll see it get a little pasty depending how much flour you put in there. Once that's all mixed together, you see it mixed together as much as you can, we're going to add our chicken broth, about 4 cups worth. Create our brothy soup. There you go. And then, third piece of the puzzle for our BLT reconstruction, some diced tomatoes. That in there, and some spices. And the spices we're going to be using are some nutmeg and some red pepper. Just do a little hearty pinch, add a little spice there. That nutmeggy taste in there. Mix that up. Now once this is all mixed up, you're going to let it heat through for roughly about 25 minutes or so. Let all the flavors come together so we get this great soup in the end. So that's all mixed up, everything's in. Just 25 minutes or so and we're ready to go. Okay, that's spent enough time doing its thing there. Now we're gonna add a little bit of heavy cream. All right. Now once that cream's in there, just gonna mix it up a little bit. Let it simmer for just a little bit. Once it's done simmering, we're gonna plate it. Turn down the heat on it a little bit. Now, use this to plate. What I also have are some freshly baked French bread that I turn into croutons that I'm going to actually just put a little bit of bacon salt over it, just a little bit. Just kind of create a little bit more of that bacon flavor. You can do these at home, just cut up some French bread or whatever you like, pop them in the oven with a little bit of olive oil over the top, and boom, you got a crouton. All right, so that's set. This is set, this is looking good. Let's ladle in some of our soup. What do you say? Smelling good. Colorful. Smells like it's flavorful. All right, for a little garnish, we're gonna use some of that bacon that we took aside last time to spread it over the top of it. Bacon crumbles. All right, and then we're gonna add our crouton to the side, and let's taste it. See how this goes. Make sure I get some bacon, a little tomato in there. That's really good. You have a lot of flavors in there. You have the essence of the BLT, obviously, with the bacon and tomato, but you've got this onion and the flavor that's brought in by the lettuce and the butter and the garlic. It is a really, really good soup. Really brothy with just good veggies. The bacon just adds that extra salt to it. This is really good. There you have it. BLT tomato soup with a bacon crouton. Next up is going to be our BLT meatballs with fresh pasta and heirloom tomatoes.